Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Drop a beat, Sean. Let's go. All right, let's start. Hey guys. Hi. Hi. So I'm Greg. That's my pretty face down there. Monkeypod Marketing is my brand, and as Daniel said, I'm focused on education and training. And so Daniel started this group, and it's been awesome. And every once in a while, he gives me the opportunity to make a fool of myself and share what I think is wise words. So today's topic is going to be tools to grow your business. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of a tool addict, where I'll sign up for any free trial just to start playing with it and figuring it out. Even if I don't know how I'm going to use it, I'll start exploring it. But that wasn't always the case for me. So I used to work at Infusionsoft, and I trained people how to use Infusionsoft. I was one of their trainers. And for some reason, I had this resistance to all of the tools that are out there. I thought, no, you just have to use Infusionsoft. And part of that came from being an Infusionsoft employee. I didn't want to say, oh, you also need this and you also need that. And you're already paying for Infusionsoft, so do you need all these other tools? There's literally an infinite number that you can collect and start paying for. So I had this weird resistance to it. And then I started my own business, and very quickly I realized all of these tools exist for a reason, and that apprehension I had for it was totally manufactured. It was just something that I made up. So my point for that is, if you have a hard time getting on board with new tools or new technology, that's okay. And I'm not suggesting that you totally leave that, but I'm suggesting that you just be a little bit open-minded, because there's some really cool stuff out there that you're going to be missing if you try to stick with just one solution. But having said that, this is a really important lesson. You should keep things as simple as possible and only as complex as necessary. And the reason I emphasize that is because you can make things literally as complicated as you want to, right? You can continue to introduce layers to it, and you can build on it. And sometimes it's you're building with the Jenga blocks, right? And you just continue to stack things on top. And the bigger it gets, oftentimes the more unstable it becomes. I feel like there is a sliding scale, right? Between let's take these blocks. If you stack just the bottom two layers, it's not very likely that it's going to fall over, right? But it's also not very fun to look at. But if you continue to stack these layers and get really complicated and intricate with it, you can build something that's really cool and fascinating, but it is a little less stable. So the more you introduce to your business, right, the more tools that you're layering on, you can do some really cool shit, but you're also opening yourself up for risk. With each additional layer, there's the possibility that piece could fall apart, or so as you're, just something to bear in mind as you're adding new tools, as you're adding additional plugins or features or whatever, you're also opening yourself up to more risk. And that's an important thing to recognize, is with each benefit there comes some sort of trade-off, and usually that shows up in the form of risk. Here's another quote. This was from Icon last week. Anyone? How many? I saw some of you at Icon. How many people were there? Yeah. So one of the Icon finalists, the second place finalist, was African Leadership University. I only say that because that was a business I worked with, and the business that Daniel worked with ended up winning. So yeah, there's a little beef happening, but
we're gonna have an arm wrestling.
That's right. But he said, "Sound simplicity beats sexy complexity," which just really was a concise way of saying what I said, with only as simple as possible and complex as necessary. So that's all I wanted to say. Is there's you can make it very complex, but remember that simplicity is your friend as well. The other thing is, all of these tools exist for a reason. As you walk around conferences like Icon, or the traffic and conversion one here locally, you see all of these booths. Hey, come on in. You see all these booths and all these sponsors who are selling and promoting their apps, and it's really tempting to kind of put on your blinders and be like, I don't want to get sucked into a sales conversation. I don't want to have another chat with another person who has another agency and another tool that I don't really need, right? And that was how I felt. I felt that way really strongly. And then I had a shift in my perspective where all of those tools exist because somebody asked for it. Nobody's out there building tools that don't serve a purpose. All of those tools have been built because there is a legitimate problem that Infusionsoft or whatever you're using doesn't solve. And so somebody has taken it upon themselves to fill that gap, to say, all right, cool, I can bridge that or I can build that. And so that was a really important distinction for me because it helped me go from seeing these tools as something that they're trying to sell me as solutions to a problem that somebody has already articulated. And that, I think, is an important mindset shift for looking at these tools, is it's not just there to make them money. Hopefully, it makes your life easier. And if you realize that you're pursuing tools because they make your life easier, it puts the power back in your hand rather than, you know, in theirs. So I'm going to go through, I think what we put together, the image and whatnot had 6 tools that I was going to share. So I stuck to that. And if we have enough time, there are a few extras that I'd like to go through as well. So the first tool I want to talk about is PureChat. Anyone use PureChat? What's up, Kat? Come on in. Anyone use PureChat yet? Or no? Nobody? Just me? ManyChat. Yeah. So there's a bunch of different live chat options. And that's a good point that Sean just made. I'm going to recommend a handful of tools. You don't have to use exactly what I use, but all of these tools serve a purpose. And if that problem, or solve a problem, if that problem resonates with you, find a similar tool. It doesn't have to be the one that I recommended, right? But there's dozens of options there. So PureChat is a live chat option for your website. It has free and paid versions. That's part of why I like recommending PureChat, is because if you're not committed to a live chat tool, you can set this one up totally for free and have up to 15 chats per month. Okay, so I actually still use the free version, not because I don't think the paid version is valuable, but because I don't have that many chats. So I don't need the paid version yet. It does have a WordPress plugin, but it's not a specific WordPress tool. So if your website's on WordPress, there's a plugin that makes it really easy to get this installed. But if your website is on anything else, they just give you an HTML code snippet and you can host that, you can embed it on any page you want. So just as a quick demo, I'm going to switch to my PeerChat console. Can somebody go to the Monkeypod, just go to monkeypodmarketing.com, and I want to demonstrate how it works. So PeerChat is like I said, live chat tool. So when you show up on my website, and you guys have probably all interacted with a live chat tool where you show up and it's like, hey, do you have any questions? So I can see here, these are my visitors. These are the people that are on my website. It's me right now, and then Jamie just loaded it up. So yep, there's a couple that just showed up there. So from the interface, if I keep this open, not only does it show me my trending traffic throughout the day, right, but I can actually initiate the chats. So I'm going to do, I don't know who these visitors are yet, but if I click Start Chat here, right, it's going to load up for me active chat. So it joined. I'm not sure who that was. It looks like it's Jamie. So I could say, hey, I see you're on my home page, right? I could see over here what page they're on, right? So conversation, they're on this page, transcript. Let me know if I can help you find anything, right? And then I send that, and it shows up on her screen, right? She gets a notification.
We're having a rap battle.
Yeah. Yeah. So instead of chat dialogue, I call it a rap battle, just in case somebody wants the challenge. We can throw down. That's the whole beatbox thing I was going back to. Yeah. So I don't do a whole lot of initiating the chat because I haven't had a great success with that. I think people find it's a little creepy if like they're reading a blog post and I chime in. The exception is if they've been on a page for like 3 or 4 minutes. That's when I'll be like, hey, do you have any questions? And I don't hang out staring at this all day hoping that I can talk to someone, but I do keep it open so that if they have a chat, right, it pops up, and then I have the opportunity to see, oh, they've been on this page, this page, this page. It shows me their visitor history, and it just gives me an opportunity to hopefully answer questions in that moment. When people are on your website, right, that is the epitome of their engagement. They're actively looking for something, and so the opportunity to answer questions for them in the moment that they have them can be the difference between a conversion or not. And so a free tool like this that allows you this type of an interface, I just think is a no-brainer. Like there's no reason not to be using something like this. And it doesn't have to be PeerChat. Sean mentioned ManyChat, which is another one. I think ManyChat actually uses the Facebook Messenger, which a lot of people are trending that way. I haven't switched over. I might at some point. Another one worth checking out is Bitbot. BITBOT, and Bitbot. How many of you remember like Choose Your Own Adventure books, right? So Bitbot allows you to craft kind of a choose your own adventure journey where you say, hey, welcome to my website, and thanks for chatting with us. Here are the 3 things people are usually wondering about. Which one resonates with you? And then as they click on one, you design what happens next to them. So you build that experience up front, and then it sort of guides them through that. PeerChat doesn't have any automation like that. It does allow you to create canned templates. So if there's the same comments that you use regularly, or you have a certain language you want to use to talk about your products consistently, you can reach for those templates. You can see over here on the left side, it allows you to add team members. So if you don't want to manage this all yourself, if you have a couple people who you'd like to tag team it, you could add your different team members. PureChat, the free version, does not integrate with Infusionsoft. Okay, so I'll get to how I do that, because I do use the free version. But if you use the paid version, it integrates directly with Infusionsoft, and you can apply tags when people chat in, and it stores them back to their contact record. So that's kind of helpful to have it automatically push that stuff into your database. Okay, so let's close this chat. Actions and chat. And then there was another visitor on the website. Who else was visiting? Is there someone else who pulled up the website, or is it gone?
That was probably actually someone.
Maybe an actual, yeah, maybe just a coincidence. Okay, well, the point I was going to make is PeerChat also has a mobile app. So, that was it. And if I can receive chats on my phone. So if I'm not at my computer, I get a buzz and pull it out, and I can reply to people right from here. So I really like that as well, because oftentimes I'm, sitting at a stoplight or not on my phone in the car is what I meant to say. And it's just helpful to have that right at your hip rather than being tethered to a desk, right? So PeerChat is tool number 1 that I fully endorse. And again, it doesn't have to be PeerChat, but you should have a live chat option.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With that, can you get a ping when someone lands on a specific page? Like if you had a specific deep and services page.
I'm not sure. Yeah, right. If there's like a specific trigger page that I want to know when somebody hits this page.
So you can actively reach out.
Yeah.
In order form.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know about PeerChat, but I know you can do that with Infusionsoft, right? With page view goals, if they're in your database. But if there's probably an option somewhere for that. I haven't done it, or I haven't explored it.
Okay.
You said, can you get a? The other thing is, because it has an HTML embed code, I have PeerChat also installed on all my order forms. So I use Infusionsoft order forms, which obviously aren't WordPress. So what I've done is just taken the little tracking script that they give you and slapped it into the order form HTML area. So because that is the sales page, right? And if somebody's checking out, that sometimes is when they have that last second apprehension or question. Yeah. So I don't want you to think that it's tied to WordPress. Tool number 2. Wistia. So Wistia is a video hosting platform. Anyone use Wistia? Yeah, Wistia is one of the more common ones. The other ones that I'm familiar with are Vimeo and YouTube. Those are kind of the big 3 as far as I think about it. The reason I wanted to talk about Wistia is because I think a lot of us are seeing it, but video is kind of the future, or even the current, right? Video is the most popular way for engagement right now, and it's the way that you keep people on your website. It's the way that you hold entertainment or engagement. Video is trending as far as its success with Facebook advertising. You're seeing more success with video ads rather than just static image ads. So we're going to see more and more video options as it becomes easier and easier to create video, especially high quality video. And so Wistia is a good solution for professional hosting. A lot of people start off using YouTube, which is fine, but YouTube just has some really inherent drawbacks. YouTube is not it's not a marketing tool, right? It's not a marketer's platform. It has a lot of distractions. If you send people to YouTube or use the YouTube embed, you have limited control because YouTube is a Google tool, right? It belongs to Google, and they use it in their own purposes and for their own traffic and their own paid advertising. So you're just, by taking advantage of their hosting, you're giving up some of that control. So I really like Wistia. They do have free plans, but I think it's like 3 videos free. Okay, so the free plan is almost negligible. As soon as you start needing to host video, you're going to need a paid plan. But the paid plan also allows you benefits like removing the Wistia logo that they stamp on it. The paid plan also allows you to integrate with Infusionsoft directly. So I'll tell you about that in just a second. And I just want to talk briefly about Vimeo, because Vimeo is comparable to Wistia. It's a personal preference, but I prefer Wistia. Wistia for me is like, it's really super clean. It allows you to, embed really professional looking videos, whereas Vimeo is more of a community, and it makes it easier for you to share your videos. It makes it easier for people to find your videos. It recommends like videos. So I think Vimeo is more of a community-based platform for, if you're looking for organic views, or you're trying to, promote something to people who you haven't yet met, right? Audiences that you don't necessarily have access to. Vimeo helps with your reach, whereas Wistia is a little bit more controlled. Vimeo just announced, or Infusionsoft just announced, an integration with Vimeo. So if you do use Vimeo, it can now integrate with Infusionsoft in the way that Wistia has for years. This was at the conference last week, and they were really pumped about this Vimeo integration, and I was just underwhelmed because Wistia has done that for a long time. Now, to be clear, I pay $1,000 a year for Wistia.
What?
Yeah, I pay $980 or something like that a year for my Wistia integration. But video is what I do. It's the core of my business. I have videos in most of my blog posts. I have videos for most of my courses. So it's important to me to have a high quality solution. So I've invested in that. It's probably the most money that I spend on a single tool. So here is what that looks like. If you're watching one of my videos, oftentimes you'll get this page. What I like about this is I can designate where in the video this shows up. So if it's a 6-minute video, you watch 2 minutes and then boom, this pops up and says, hey, do you want the bonus resources to go along with this? Enter your email and hit play, or skip to continue watching. You get to define the text above and below. The reason I like this is because it doesn't require that they opt in. I want to give people that choice. Hey, if you're really enjoying this content, in the middle of this video, there's a little bit of a pattern interrupt. It disrupts what they're looking at. So they might be like, hey, yeah, this is great. I do want more of this, and easily enter their email. Or they might be like, slow your roll, Greg. I want to see the rest of this video before I make any sort of decisions, and they can click skip. So for me, that's important, is that it allows them that choice. Some people, prefer to require that, and Wistia does that as well. You can gate your content, which means they have to opt in up front, or you can build what's called a turnstile, and that's what this is. So I like having those options. Somewhere in here,
add multiple opt-ins per video?
Yes, different turnstiles at different points. Yeah, so this is a blog post that I wrote a few weeks ago, how to import contacts into Infusionsoft without creating duplicate records. Down here is the video. I've already been playing this, so I let it get to this point, which is, I think, the 2-minute point. So if I click skip, it just resumes back at the 2-minute mark and keeps going. Okay. So that was all I wanted to demonstrate, is how it looks, when it's embedded. I've got the clean, the colored player that is on brand. I gave it the color that matches my tree down there. And when you get to the 2-minute mark, it pops up that turnstile. So if you do a lot of work with video, or if you hope to do some work with video, having a professional video hosting platform that integrates with your marketing database is going to be pretty critical. And for me, that's Wistia, but you can, do your own research or homework and choose one that suits you. I want to make sure you guys feel comfortable making recommendations and suggestions. If I don't answer something, or if you have a tool that's similar that you think is a fit, please feel free to chime in. I'd love for this to be a little more conversational. Everyone.
So, go ahead.
Yeah.
What are you using to make video?
Yeah, so I use Camtasia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a popular one. It's a tool by TechSmith. Fun fact about Camtasia, their offices are in Okemos, Michigan, which is right next to East Lansing, Michigan, which is where Michigan State University is. So I went to Michigan State, and I coached water polo at Okemos High School at 5600 Jolly Road, and literally within a quarter of a mile are the Camtasia TechSmith headquarters. So when I call them, they've got a 517 area code, I've got a 517 area code. There's a whole little love fest happening, yeah. So I use Camtasia. You can use iMovie. There's what you use for video screen capture and recording is totally up to you. I've had good luck with Camtasia. What else? ScreenFlow is a big one, yeah. Zoom, sure, if you're doing, hey, if that's for me, tell them I'm in the middle of something, yeah. Okay, so tool number 3 that I want to talk about is Pixlr, Pixlr.com. Anyone been to this website before? Pixlr is free. It's a free online photo editor. So I don't have Photoshop. I don't have a Photoshop license. So this is what I use instead. And my understanding is that it's really similar in terms of the way that you can do layering, the way that you can, quickly and easily adjust images. So Pixlr is great. It does have free and paid plans. I haven't had any issues using the free plans, so I haven't had a need for a paid plan. Another benefit to it being hosted is if you are not on your computer, if you're traveling or your battery died or you're on a friend's computer, you can access Pixlr for anywhere. So it doesn't require being locally installed. I use it primarily for quick image resizing if I need to change the dimensions of an image, or if I want to add a text overlay, or if I want to remove the background so that it's a cleaner embed, right? There's little things like that.
Are you able to decrease the size of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is actually owned by Autodesk, who did AutoCAD.
Okay. I'm not
So-
familiar with that one. Yeah.
Well, because it's from the 90s. But AutoCAD is like was the 3D software
Architecture.
Yeah.
that all
Civil
architects
engineering,
use,
yeah.
and they still do today.
Sure,
So
yeah.
you make a little screw with threads, and just it's awesome.
Right on.
So you got a lot of technology behind it.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds promising, if nothing else. Okay. So here's the Pixlr website. Loads up. You click down. You get to choose Pixlr Editor or Pixlr Express. Let's do Launch Web App here. It says, cool, what image do you want to start with? And it asks you if you want to create one from scratch, open an image from your computer, or open an image from a URL, right? So if it's hosted somewhere else and you've got the hosted URL for it, that's fine. Let's do open one from my computer. And documents, got to make sure I avoid my porn folder. Let's just jump to Greg working. Okay, anyone do a lot of screen sharing with their customers? You've had that happen, right? Where somebody opens the browser they never use, and you're like, whoa, buddy. Okay. Oh, that one didn't work because the image file was, it's a Canon photograph that I haven't converted yet. Okay, so let's do a different image. Desktop, marketing images, Fred Talk, there we go. Okay, so, here's an image. Let's say I was, I'll just show you how you can edit the image size pretty easily by adjusting it. You can edit the canvas size and add some different elements around it. You can add an additional layer, right? So add a layer to it, and then let's do an overlay where we give it a red hue. So oh hey, I just made everything whatever, but then you adjust the transparency over here, right? And you can,
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel, like the comics.
The thing I was trying to do this with another software. You know how Marvel movies start?
Yeah.
With the,
yeah.
I just can do this, put it in PowerPoint, and go, and then
Sure.
Oh man, I just was trying to figure.
Yeah. So this is. I mean, I'm not a photo editor, and I don't. Like I said, I don't use Photoshop. So it's possible that Photoshop is way more intuitive. But this is free, and for me, that's.
It's way more complicated.
It's not free?
Not intuitive.
Oh, Photoshop. Okay. Yeah. I was like, is it not free? I thought it was free. Okay.
Intuitive about
Yeah.
They're really similar. So this took a lot of the tools from Photoshop.
That's. I imagine that's. I imagine that was the inspiration. Yeah.
One thing.
Yep.
That you could do the transparency in this, but what I do is, if you have lead pages or ClickFunnels or anything like that, they give you these templates with 3D books, and you can download the 3D book from ClickFunnels, like actually take their image and then upload it in here, and then you could make your own little, you could use Canva or whatever. And so I made a little video on how to make a 3D book, and then when you uploaded it.
Oh, for the logos, yeah. Yeah, I mean.
And it's generic and it's pixelated, but.
Sure, but it works.
Yeah.
And you might. There are probably some things that you'll want to hire a graphic designer for, right? That you take a little more seriously. But for me, this is a great, easy win. And I do all of my blog images. I create those in Pixlr. Too much traffic, probably. Getting all these PureChat visitors up there. Let's try that. Or maybe I lost connectivity here.
I said, is your Wi-Fi drop?
Could be. Jot that one down. Tool number 4 is Plus This, and most of you have probably heard of this. How many Plus This users in the room? Yeah, so Plus This is a big one. It's an Infusionsoft add-on. They also have features for Ontraport. So if you use Ontraport, Plus This can also extend that. And the whole game is finding the things Infusionsoft doesn't do natively or well, and then adding those additional features, right? So if you pay $200 for Infusionsoft, you could pay an extra, or $300 or $400 or whatever you pay, you could pay an extra $80 for this set of features from Plus This. Plus This charges by feature. So I think that you get like 15 features as their base package, and then you can add additional features as needed. When I'm talking about features, I'm talking about things like split testing, video tracking, SMS, countdowns, page triggers, Facebook lead ads, GoToWebinar. Like it's just all of the, not all, but many of the things that you're like, this should be a little bit easier, or Infusionsoft should natively do that. Well, Infusionsoft does a lot of things, it doesn't do everything, right? So Plus This exists to kind of expand that functionality. Another tool worth looking at is My Fusion Helper. It is Plus This's competition, and they're both really good. I've used both of them. I probably use Plus This more regularly because that's my comfort zone. I used it first, but My Fusion Helper is also worth looking at. The two businesses there's a little bit of friction because they're competing in the same and small space, but the competition benefits the rest of us, where they hold each other accountable and they both have to keep getting better. It's as simple as that. A third one worth checking out is Novak Solutions, Novak Solutions, and they have their own toolkit. It is not as robust as Plus This or My Fusion Helper, but there's some similar functionality. They also do split testing, so there's some, and I think it's a little less expensive. And Novak Solutions also does a lot of custom API work, whereas Plus This isn't really in that game. So if you're doing work with Novak Solutions anyway, then their tool kit may be a better fit for you. But I just wanted to sprinkle those 3 options out there. Yeah, Daniel, chime in, man.
And for any of you that are interested, so like My Fusion Helper Plus This, right? It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife. So anything you're possibly thinking of, for the most part, like I wish I could do this. For the most part, probably Plus This has that. It just so happens we have a Plus This employee right here, Rafaela.
What?
And
I wasn't gonna out her, but.
And she's guest hosting next month, so she's going to dive deep into all of Plus This. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so I'm back online, and what I wanted to point out was, all of these images, this was a free stock image, and I just used Pixlr to throw the text over it, right? This was a stock image, and I added a layer with the green, made it 50% transparent, added my text over it, and added my logo in the corner, right? So little things like that. If you don't need to be a graphic design whiz in order to create small and functional graphics. The other thing that I'll point out, which I'm going to get to shortly, but while I'm on this page, is a WordPress plugin that I'm using to send push notifications. So if you arrive on my website for the first time, it asks, hey, would you like to receive notifications from this site? Which means that when I publish a new blog post, you'll get a in-browser notification. I also send an email to all my blog subscribers, but sometimes it's helpful to have that push notification. Hey, there's new content right there. One of the big trends that I've been hearing marketers talk about for the last 3 to 5 months is using push notifications to help with content consumption. So this is a free WordPress plugin. It was a little more technical to set up than I thought it would be, but all things said, it took me about 30 minutes, and it's working now. So I tested it first by just signing up for myself, and I get the push notification on my phone, and I get it in my browser on my desktop when there's a new post. And so,
what's the name of it?
So it's called One Signal Push, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in depth in just a moment. I wasn't sure where that question came from, is why I'm looking at both of you. Yeah, so that's that. Oh, Plus This is where we are. So Plus this extends the power of Infusionsoft. It's pretty cool. I'm going to talk specifically about video tracking. So I talked about Wistia earlier in terms of lead capture. And Wistia has pretty good reporting on a video by video basis for how much people have watched. And it allows you to see, if they're dropping off at the 4-minute point, maybe you need to move some of that more engaging content up earlier, or maybe you need to just shorten your video altogether. So you can make some good decisions for your marketing that way. The drawback is Wistia doesn't tell you who stopped watching, okay? So if you want to know, like, oh man, like all of the people who stop are in the UK, and it's because I started talking about something that didn't resonate with them, right? It's just a little bit harder to make that correlation. So one benefit to Plus this, and like I said, my Fusion Helper does this as well, is video tracking. So what you do is you take your Wistia embed code. So Wistia, you upload your video, and then it gives you an embed code. It says, hey, paste this wherever you want, and there's your hosted video. So instead of taking that directly to WordPress, I first take it to Plus this, and I embed it in Plus this, and Plus this gives me a different embed code. It just wraps the one that Wistia made with their own tracking. And the benefit of that is I'm allowed to then designate, hey, if they watch 45 seconds of this video, tag them with this tag. If they watch 3.5 minutes, tag them with that tag. So now I have, on a contact by contact basis, how much consumption they made it through, right? And so I can not only see which of my prospects are watching portions of the video or the entire video, but I can also deliver resources, right? If at minute 6 in the video I talk about an ebook that is really valuable for you, well, if you watch to that point, I can trigger a campaign that delivers the ebook I'm talking about, right? So, or if you don't watch to that point, if you start it but don't make it to minute 6, I could send you an email encouraging you to go back. So now this allows you to take your professional hosted video and use parallel engagement triggers. So you're following up with them, you're encouraging them to consume more content. That's especially beneficial if you run courses, right? If you have online courses, well, your course doesn't do anyone any good unless they watch it, right? And you've probably worked really hard to create valuable content, help them consume it, right? It's really easy for people to get distracted, to start a video and not finish it. This allows you to follow up with them. I'm not saying you bully them into watching the end of the video, but if you know the video is 30 minutes long and they started it, but they didn't make it to minute 20, well, 30 minutes later, if they haven't made it to minute 20, you can safely assume that they stopped watching the video, and you can send them a reminder, don't worry, we saved your place, jump back in when you're ready, and then they can say, oh right, I was making lunch and then I got distracted. So it's a good way to help with that encouragement. I want to show you a campaign that I use for this, and this is more specific to Infusionsoft users, but I'm sure you can do something similar in pretty much any of the, there's my Jenga Tower Google search. In any of the other platforms as well. So let's go back to the Monkeypod world. Okay, so I have a course called Lifecycle Marketing Real Life. I call it LCM Real Life. And the whole concept is lifecycle marketing is a concept that where you craft your customer's journey, right? From their first moment of engagement with your brand to becoming a partner who refers people back to you, and every step in between. It's about designing like a holistic customer experience. So that's what this course is. There's 3 modules: attract, sell, and wow, because those are kind of the highest level encompassing stages of lifecycle marketing. And so this is the campaign that I use, and it starts when somebody watches the first 50% of the attract video. So that's module number 1. And then this next goal is achieved if they watch 100% of that video. So if they watch up to 50% but don't complete the video, then they get stuck in here. And there's a little bit of a delay, there's a 30-minute delay, and then it sends them this email where it says, hey, just wanted to see how things are progressing with the LCM Attract module. I hope you're enjoying the content because it only gets better from here. Use the link below to jump back in and finish the first module when you're ready. So I'm not saying, hey, I saw you watched 50% but didn't watch 100%, and here I am reminding you to keep going, right? I'm just being a little coy, right? Maybe this is the nudge you need to keep going. And then I do the same thing with if they finish the first module but don't watch 50% of the next one, Okay, that means that they watched the whole first module, but they didn't start or watch at least 50% of the second one. And that one has a little longer delay. So it waits 2 days. Because you don't need to watch the videos all in one sitting. Okay, so I wait 2 days. And if you haven't started the next module and 2 days have gone by, this email shows up and says, here's the benefit of this next video. Second part is the sell module. Selling is really important. This module discusses tactics for building relationships. It just reminds them, here's where you're going, and helps them encourage them along. So it goes on as such, using those video triggers to drive them through the entirety of the course. And if they watch 100% of the last video, then that same goal triggers down here, has a little bit of a timer, and then it recommends next steps for them. So what I'm doing with that is making sure that before I recommend the next course, they've completed their consumption of this course. Because some people take their time, and that's totally fine. But I don't want to show up while you're in the middle of the first module and be like, you ready for this next course? And they haven't had a chance to digest the first thing that they bought. So this allows me to pace my communication so that it shows up at an interval that's going to be as effective as possible. Make sense?
Do you have timer delays between each one of those videos?
I do.
What if they complete the video? Do they still have to wait for the timer?
No, yeah, so in a perfect world, good question, thank you. Yeah, in a perfect world, they won't get any of these emails because they'll just go through and watch it all on their own. So this is my safety net. The only time these emails come into play is if they watch part but don't do the next thing.
What
Or
if they
watch this.
All, though? Does the next video just pop up automatically?
Yeah, so the way I have the course structured is when you buy it, you get access to all 3 modules. And so you can watch them all right in a row. And if you do that, you're going to breeze through this and just achieve all of those goals, and you won't get any of these reminder emails. This is just set up to catch the people who stop. If you stop or you get distracted in the middle of one of the courses, or you finish the first one and don't start the second one, or finish the second one and don't start the third one, that's where these triggers start to come into play.
We were in a meeting with Frank Kern, and he was saying that he had all these delays set up, but he figured out if somebody watched it all the way to the end, he used plus this and sent them the next one immediately.
Yeah.
And some people would sit there and just binge watch.
Yeah, so you
watch
could
for 6 hours. And those were the hottest prospects.
Yeah, so you could use this similarly. Once they watch 100% of the first one, you then use that to unlock the second one, right? So you could use this to only give them the content as they're eating it, so to speak, feed them as their appetite, continues to grow. But I give them access to everything up front, and then I use this just to encourage consumption along the way. But I see what you're getting at. You could do it. Yeah, you could build it the same way. And then the follow-up down here, I'm going to recommend either another course or you become a Monkeypod member. And this decision diamond is all it's checking for is, are they already a member? So, it waits, or it finishes when they start the course, and then there's a little bit of a delay. And then it looks to see, hey, are you already a member? And if you aren't, it says you should become a Monkeypod member. And if you are, it says, hey, did you know I have all these other courses? So it's making a recommendation based on what I know about them at an interval that I feel is appropriate because I know that they just consumed a course. So again, I don't, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, but I feel like there's a lot of small things you can do to make your messaging that much more impactful by using the behavior that you're measuring. Yeah. And then the other thing is with, if you're applying tags, you can pretty easily pull a search. How many of the people who have bought this course have finished it? How many of the people who have bought this course haven't even started it because they don't have any of these tags, So that'll give you a little bit of insight into how your content's performing in a way that Wistia doesn't. That's why I use this to layer onto the data I'm getting from Wistia.
Where are you hosting your course at?
As far as delivery?
Yeah.
So I use Customer Hub. I'm not proud of that, okay? Yeah. Anyone familiar with Customer Hub? Anyone use it? Okay, so Customer Hub is Infusionsoft's membership platform. I use it because as a former Infusionsoft employee, it's totally free for me, and because I'm an expert in it. I coached and trained people how to set it up and how to build it. So for me, it comes really second nature. At some point, I will transition to probably Memberium, maybe iMember. I've got relationships with. Hey, I've got friends in both places. But for now, I just haven't had the need to transition. And the plus this embed code works in any of those 3.
Why do you say that you're not proud of that?
Customer Hub is, Customer Hub is fine. It's
like owning a Yugo.
It's not as robust as Memberium or iMember, It's self-hosted, so it's monkeypod.customerhub.net instead of monkeypodmarketing.com. So it's not on my own domain. If you want to, it's not as robust as what you can do with either of the other solutions that I mentioned.
They stopped updating it for the
Yeah.
most part, like 3 years ago.
That is correct. Yeah, the developers who are working on it have all been reassigned. So it's just it's functional. Yeah, it's got a special place in my heart, but it's
stable though. There's never any issues, right?
And it earns Infusionsoft $1 million a year. Like, it is still a profitable tool for them, but it's not on the level that some of the other. It hasn't continued to advance the way the other tools have.
If it ain't broke,
And it's a paid.
It's
$89 a month, I think.
something like that. Yeah.
Just for the video triggers, for any of you, because I know you mentioned Frank Kern, so Jeff Walker's product launch funnel is really, really popular.
Right.
And so, especially if you're doing video series where, maybe at minute, 10 is where the sales pitch hits, right?
Yeah.
So using Greg's example, that's exactly what you can do. Is you can say the person did not hear the sales pitch in this product launch video, so I need to circle back before I even allow any more sales emails to go out, because they're probably not going to buy because they haven't heard the sales pitch.
Yeah.
So I need to circle them back to watch this other video to reinforce the value before they go over here to this next stage in your campaign.
And we actually did a product launch, and we did that to where we were looking at 25, 50, and 75%, 100%, and we had their phone numbers. So who do you want to call? The person that watched 25% of video one.
Oh, sure.
Right. So then we were able to do that. Another thing we learned is you can do the analytics on the background, because there's a training part of the video. So what people would do is the people that watch the whole video, 50% of it is just going, hey, we're amazing, and the other 50% is, this is how we do it. So everybody would rewind and watch it. So we would say that part of the video was really great content, and the first part sucked. And so then we were like, oh, well, we could remove that and then add something else in. So Wistia is really powerful on that end.
I mean, it's the way you use these tools. There isn't a right or wrong way. There's an infinite level of complexity that you can introduce. Daniel mentioned if you know that there's an offer at a certain point, well, if they don't make it to that point, then they haven't seen the offer. Well, similarly, if they do make it to that point, they have seen the offer, and then you can trigger, if you say it's going to expire, you know exactly when they saw that offer, and you know when to begin that countdown sequence for them. So there's a lot of different ways to leverage that outside of reporting, just from a promotion standpoint. All right, tool number 5. These are WordPress plugins. I know that not everyone is on WordPress, but WordPress is by far the most popular content management platform. So I'm going to talk about a few WordPress plugins that I recommend. And if they work for you, great. I'm not a WordPress expert. I taught myself WordPress so that I could talk about it confidently with other people. So I'm not suggesting that I have all the answers, and I'd love to hear what your recommendations are. But I use Yoast. Yoast is a SEO plugin where it analyzes the content on a page-by-page basis and makes recommendations for how you can tweak that copy or tweak the metadata so that your page ranks higher. It's simple enough that I can use it, and I don't know anything about SEO. That's not my space. I haven't tried to become an expert in it, but it's a nice thing that you can do because it gives you little reminders. It grades each page. I actually have this turned off currently because it had a conflict with a recent update to my theme. But this has been really useful for me in terms of optimizing my pages and in terms of SEO education, because it will make these suggestions, and as you start to see them time and time again, then it becomes part of your natural behavior, because you then understand, oh, it keeps recommending that my keywords be used. Yes, yeah, there's little things like that 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 can make a big difference. SEO is, in broad strokes, it's how people find your page, right? And so you can hire companies to manage the SEO for your website and to manage your on-page and off-page SEO, but this is a really free tool that helps enforce some quality best practices. One Signal Push, that is what I use for push notifications. I just discovered it a few weeks ago. A friend of mine recommended it. Again, it took me a little bit to follow the instructions, but they're there. The documentation is good. I was kind of jumping ahead and I skipped a step, and that was what ended up tripping me up. But all things said and done, it was 30 or 40 minutes and it was live and launched and free. So One Signal, I would recommend this if you have a blog or if you're regularly updating new content and you think your audience would appreciate knowing about it as a push notification instead of waiting for a broadcast email or what have you. Any Lead Pages users? So Lead Pages is it's a landing page builder. I use it. There are a lot of landing page builders out there. I'm not sure that Lead Pages is the best. At one point it was one of the better ones, and now there's just so many good tools. It's what I've stuck with because that's what I used first. And I have so many things built in it, I haven't had the impetus to migrate to something new. Infusionsoft is introducing a new landing page builder. If you haven't heard, they bought and have white labeled the landing page builder from Convert. CONVRRT, if you're familiar with that one. The building interface will look really similar because it's going to be that builder.
Did you see it?
I haven't played with it yet. Yeah. May 15th was their target date. I am optimistic about where the builder will go. I have tempered my expectations for what I expect the first iteration to be. If your experience with Infusionsoft tells you anything, they often get the MVP, minimum viable product, out, and then they add things to it over the next however long. That's kind of what happened with the mobile responsive email builder. They brought it out, and we were all like, "Whoa! What about all the other things that we want and need?" And so I imagine that they'll get there. But Lead Pages also has a WordPress plugin, which allows me to send you to monkeypodmarketing.com/nurture. And it takes you to a lead page that I built for capturing leads specifically on that topic. So I just like it that it's simple. It allows me to create my own domain URLs for those. I also use Rapidology. Rapidology is a free WordPress plugin that does simple lead capture. So it does pop-up. If you visit my website and there's a pop-up that says, "Hey, start with this course or try this free trial." It's super simple. The drawback is it only allows you to capture first name, last name, and email, or a combination. First name and email, just email, that sort of thing. It doesn't allow you to do any custom fields or any radio options or check this box for permission. It just is first name, last name, email. But it's super easy, it's super free, and then it integrates with Infusionsoft by applying a tag. So you then launch your campaigns by having a tag applied. I could show you an example of this one. For those of you who weren't at Icon, you can grab my slides. It's monkeypodmarketing.com/icon17. So this is where I drove people from my presentations at Icon to download my slide decks and some video resources. This is a Rapidology lead capture box here. You can see powered by Rapidology. You can remove that. There's a little line of CSS code you can add that gets rid of it. I don't mind giving them credit. It's a cool tool, so I choose to leave it there because why not? If it.
Didn't Infusionsoft just?
Yeah, so that's where I'll get there. So you enter your first name, test at email.com, and give me the goods, and then it shows you a success message right there. So it leaves them on this page. It doesn't redirect. Yeah, it's clean. In addition to embedding it on pages like this, you can have an exit pop if they go to leave. You could have a timed pop-up. You could have as they scroll.
Rather than Lead Pages.
Then the lead box pop-up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's super clean. Rapidology is a Lead Pages tool. I also like that the builder is in WordPress rather than having to go to Lead Pages and build it through that interface. So I've had good luck with it that way. But the reality is there is a brand new, like last week, Infusionsoft plugin. If you search the WordPress plugin marketplace, it is, I think it's official Infusionsoft lead capture plugin or something like that. And anyone build plugins or develop apps or anything like that? Okay, it's a fork of this one. So that means WordPress plugins in general are open source. So the code for the Rapidology plugin means that other people can access it. So somebody, an Infusionsoft department or developer, has taken the Rapidology plugin, and just made their own instance. Changed the lines of code so that it only works with Infusionsoft. They've added some other things to it, but it'll look and feel a lot like Rapidology. Have you played with it? Is that what you were saying?
I played with it during the presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and to be fair, Rapidology is a fork as well. Originally it was Bloom, which is I think Thrive tool, It was the Bloom was the plugin before Rapidology that was really, really similar. So Lead Pages cloned it, forked it, and they called it Rapidology. Infusionsoft has now done the same thing, and that's not super uncommon. It just is a slightly different perspective with slightly different feature set. I will use the Infusionsoft official plugin. My concern right now is because they're so similar, I don't know if I can have both installed at the same time. And because I'm currently using Rapidology, my fear is if I start using the Infusionsoft one, it might affect my existing plugin. So that's why I haven't switched over. If you're using neither, start with the Infusionsoft one, because that's going to be, and if you use Infusionsoft, start with that one because it's going to be a closer fit anyway.
I did a free training this morning for the Infusionsoft plugin. I was getting emails from people asking,
Awesome.
how do I set it up?
Yeah.
And it's not working for me.
Oh, it hasn't.
It's not working for me.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else in the room has used it and worked. Maybe you'll
I
have
haven't.
better
You might
success.
have conflict though. That's why I don't like the plugins.
Yeah.
So is it just called Infusionsoft plugin?
Let's find out. Let's find out together, Kat. How about that?
Monkeypod.
That's right.
It might be in there.
Plugins. I don't have it installed. I'm gonna do a. I'm gonna try. Let's see what we can do. There are a handful. If you just search for the word Infusionsoft, there are a handful that show up that aren't built by Infusionsoft. So.
It'll be like halfway buried down in the page.
Yeah, because it doesn't have very many installs. Here, there it is. It does have the Infusionsoft logo. Infusionsoft official opt-in forms, 100 plus active installs. You can see there are no reviews at this point. It literally it came out last week, and they barely talked about it. It was very confusing. Like there are so many WordPress users. They announced it at PartnerCon last October, and here we are today, and it's out last week. So that's the one. Infusionsoft official opt-in forms that they pushed out. Yeah, I'm disappointed to hear that it didn't work for you because
Maybe I didn't spend too much time in it. I installed it. It's a really easy install. It asks you for the encryption and your app name.
Yeah.
And then you're basically set up. So then you have to go into Campaign Builder and then you pull over the widget, and then that's where I ran into the problem because it says, okay, choose your opt-in form. And
Yeah.
go to type in your opt-in form, and I was getting nothing. And then I started building.
You have to create the opt-in
Yeah.
for WordPress.
So there's a specific. Yep.
What?
Oh my gosh.
There's a specific widget here, WordPress Optin. Did you use that? Okay.
If you double click on that,
Yeah.
and then it says, okay, we'll choose your opt-in
That didn't
form.
drop down.
So you create it first
Yeah.
in WordPress,
I
and then
did
okay.
that. Well, hold on. I didn't create I created, so then I tested. I was like, okay, so then I actually created.
sounds like user error, Daniel. I'm not sure.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could
You
be.
need the ID10T file.
When I first installed the plugin, it was like literally they announced it during a session.
Yeah.
And I installed it, and like it wouldn't give me the option to create one until like the end of the session. I was like, I don't know what happened. I kept.
It took a
refreshing,
while for you.
refreshing,
Yeah.
And then I finally got the button to add the new.
So how do you
opt-in
create
form
it in WordPress?
through the plugin?
Open
So
the.
the plugin has a thing to
Like
create a
a
form.
wizard or a
Yeah.
And then you gotta have a good naming convention there to match your naming convention.
So
You just find it and
Yeah.
here's how Rapidology looks, and I suspect it'll be really similar because it's a clone. But what's up, Kat?
What's the difference between radiology and
Rapidology
Rapidology
and Bloom. Yeah.
Healthcare.
Rapidology is owned by Lead Pages. Bloom is owned by Thrive Themes, I think.
But they're basically the same.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the same
I
company.
Is
use
Yeah.
Bloom in the
I
free,
use
once you
Bloom.
buy Thrive Themes, is it in the?
I think
free
so.
section?
Yeah. So
Thrive leads now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
new
Yeah,
opt-in.
Yeah, we use that.
You choose the type of opt-in. Was this what it looked like? Yeah. And so you inline or locked content or a widget, and then once you select, it says, cool, what do you want to integrate with? And I have to choose Infusionsoft. I imagine that is part of the Infusionsoft plugin that you don't have to choose. Give it a name, select, okay, my Monkeypod account, and then it asks what list, so what tag you want it to apply. And then your campaign starts with that particular tag. And then once you click design your opt-in, It just has, you know.
Is this Thrive?
No, this is Rapidology. Yeah.
No, your theme.
Divi. Yeah.
You like it better than Bloom? You like Rapidology better than Bloom?
I haven't used Bloom. Yeah, I used Rapidology. Because I'm a lead pages user, so they were like, hey, we got this plugin called Rapidology. And then once I started using it, then I started reading. I was like, oh, it's a lot like Bloom. And the Thrive Themes people were kind of upset. And then the lead pages guy was like, that's what open source means, jerks. And there was like this weird nerdy battle. Yeah, I know. Okay, so you choose one of these and then you can tailor it. So I suspect the Infusionsoft one will be really similar to this. Okay, we need to move on. I'm conscious of time, everyone. Ooh. That's not the screen you're supposed to be seeing.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Official Ronnie Kasif endorsement. That works. Okay, so Zapier. Any Zapier users? I will insist that every person in the world should have a Zapier account. And I didn't originally feel that way. I was like, it's overkill, who needs it? And now every time I use it, I fall a little bit more in love, and it is a deep and oh my gosh, it's just like a puppy. I continue to a puppy that does things for you, who's like fetching you slippers and opening your beer and whatever else. Okay, so Zapier is effectively it's coding for non-coders. If you need two systems to talk, if you need something to happen when something else happens, you can do whatever you want with code. Almost anything in the world you can accomplish by writing the appropriate code. But Zapier has taken the most common instances and written these pre-packaged integrations so that all you have to do is select it. You're just writing recipes. Anyone used if this then that? Okay, this is if this then that is automated recipes as well. Zapier is if this then that on steroids. It's bigger and better and more robust and more integrations, and it's great. Yeah.
We are software developers.
Okay.
And we love this because we don't have to do it.
Totally. And it's not even a matter of whether you could do it, because you could do, but it's like, why would we reinvent the wheel? It's already here and it's maintained and it's supported. Oh, it's so beautiful. I've got a big crush on Zapier. Yeah. So let me show you a Zap that I built that I'm pretty proud of. Okay. So Zapier, of course, does it's got a free version, first of all. Okay, so you could sign up for Zapier. The free version does not integrate with Infusionsoft, so you have to have a paid version in order to integrate. Let's switch to my account. So, just a second. Just a second. It always freaks me out when the page loads like without the CSS, and you're like, well, I'm being hacked. That's what's happening right now. Pretty confident. Okay. The font file still needs to load. You can see that.
Have you been to Jordan's site lately?
Hatch? Yeah, it's down right now. Well, it was yesterday. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
There's some data.
There we go. Okay, log in. Don't worry about that. Yeah, right, just over and over. Okay, so Zapier, I use it to, like, if a new contact shows up in Infusionsoft, doesn't matter how it gets into my database, any new contact, I immediately run a randomizer, which is a built-in Zap feature, to pick a number between 1 and 3, and then add that to a custom field. So if I ever need the split test, every contact in my database has a number 1 through 3. You know, I'm not suggesting that you need to do that, right? But little things like that, it can't hurt, right? Okay, Greg Jenkins, there we go. We use it for integrating Eventbrite. Eventbrite is a event management software, and you can use Zapier to integrate it with Infusionsoft, which is great. I use it for GoToWebinar if we're hosting webinars to when a new. I don't want my contacts to have to go to webinar and type their name and information, and if they're already on my database, I can create a one-click registration so that Zapier registers them. Plus, this does that pretty elegantly as well. And then Zapier will also tag them once that has successfully happened. So I can not only track that it took place, but track that it responded the right way. Okay, so am I in the? Oh yeah. So here are like I said, Infusionsoft to GoToWebinar. That's one recipe. GoToWebinar back to Infusionsoft once it works successfully. Here's another one. A Zap that just starts whenever any contact gets a tag, and it's the Meet Greg tag. So that's like my indoctrination campaign. Anytime somebody goes through there, they're introduced to me. Hey, here's who I am. I don't know why this one is not. It's got some incomplete stuff happening, but I added a filter. So step number 1, it starts when a tag is applied. Step number 2 is it only continues if the contact's email contains .com.au. And then it tags them with my Aussie tag. So if I'm doing another event in Australia, it's a pretty good indicator if their email address contains .com.au that they're from Australia. And I think I even set their country. Maybe I don't. But yeah, it's just a segmentation tool for me. You can ask people where they're from, but if you know it's .co.uk or .com.au, you can make some assumptions about them and use the automation to automatically tag them for you. That's not the one I was proud of, although it's pretty great. Here's what I was circling back to. So PureChat, the free version doesn't integrate with Infusionsoft, but Zapier does integrate PureChat and Infusionsoft. So I can get by using the free version of PureChat because I do have a paid account of Zapier that does that integration for me. Does that make sense? Yes. So if you only have a handful of chats a month, use PureChat for free, but if you're going to pay for Zapier anyway, use that to put those leads into Infusionsoft and tag them. Okay, Monkeypod split test, here's that one. Starts with any new contact, then it goes to this numbers where you write an Excel formula. Any Excel wizards in here? Not me, but it allows you to randomly select, between 1 and 2, I'm not doing 1 and 3. And then uses full contact to look them up. Not sure why I'm doing that. Let's find out. Oh yeah, so full contact. Anyone familiar with full contact? It's a $5 a month tool for the paid version, or there's a free license. Full contact aggregates online footprints. So all of your social profiles, your Gravatar image, your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle, if you used your email address for all of those things, it can find you, okay? So in this split test, it starts for any new contact. It randomly gives them a split test number between 1 and 2. It looks them up on full contact through my free account, and then it updates their contact record with whatever information it found. So yeah, so it's not only assigning somewhere in here that split test field, but it is also from full contact. It's pulling in their LinkedIn profile. It's pulling in their Twitter handle in case I ever need that. And down here, it's putting the split test into that split test field. So every contact who comes in, it might not find all of them, but it's going to try and do all of that for me. How am I doing on time? 12:08? Good. I got till 12:30, right? Cool. Where? The PureChat. Oh, social. Oh, I have a whole folder for social. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, first of all, you're wrong, and you should. It's @InfusionGreg, and I have a fairly active Twitter handle, but a lot of it is automated. And I know there's some resistance to automating your Twitter feed because it gets really old if it's just thanks for following me, thanks for following me, thanks for following me. So I have a unique twist on it that I think mitigates some of that risk, okay? So when somebody, nope, this is the wrong one. This is for new Monkeypod members. I can show you this one, I guess. So I have a membership program. When somebody purchases my membership program, they get a tag. So this Zap starts when the OG member tag is applied. And then it goes to full contact, finds that person, and it only continues if their Twitter name, if it found a Twitter handle for them. So it just stops if they don't have a Twitter handle. And after it finds them, or if it continues, this is going to be a little nerdy, but it picks a number between 1 and 5. It uses that number to go to a spreadsheet where I have 5 different welcome tweets. And so it randomly chooses between those 5 different welcome tweets using their Twitter handle. It delays for 40 minutes. So that doesn't happen the moment you purchase, but 45 minutes later, it tweets using one of those random 5 welcomes. And I'm going to continue to flesh that out. Eventually, I want that to be 50 welcomes so that you have no idea. But right now, it's 5. And here's the tweet, right? So the first part, and then their Twitter handle, and then the second part. So the spreadsheet has tweet part 1 and tweet part 2. So all I know is I have to put their name in between. And it's like, hey, welcome to my newest member at Kat Fulton. Hope you enjoy the Monkeypod Grove. That sort of thing. Yeah, right? Soup's nerdy. Okay, similarly, I have another one for new Twitter followers. So if you follow me on Twitter, and this one's even nerdier, guys, I'm telling you, Zapier blows my mind. So new follower is the trigger. As soon as somebody follows me, this starts. It delays right away for 95 minutes. That's just a random amount of time because I didn't want it to happen the moment that they follow me. And then there's numbers here where it looks up a number between 1 and 35. So just randomly pick a number between 1 and 35. It only continues if that number is less than 26. So about a third of the time, it doesn't tweet at them. Because I don't want it to happen for every single follower. I wanted it to be relatively inconsistent. So let's do Twitter replies. There we go. Here's my Google Sheet. So here's that sheet. So the reason it's between 1 and 26 or 27 or whatever it was is because it's going to look up using that number. Here's the random number. And then it's got tweet text and tweet part 2. Okay? So some of these just end with an exclamation point, but some of them have a second part where it says, well, hello there, and then it'll have their name, and then it's got this GIF at the end, and it's Chris Farley waving from his hip sort of thing, right? So if you follow me, one of these, there's a 2 out of 3 chance that one of these tweets is going to be sent to you. Once it looks that up, or once it gets the number, it goes to the spreadsheet, and then it creates that tweet. So if you go to my Twitter feed, there's a lot of automation, but it doesn't feel as automated, right? Big ups to my latest follower. Anything specific I can do for you? Shout out to the newest Monkeypod member, Turbo Todd. Welcome to the party. It's with great pleasure that I extend the warmest welcome to this person, our newest Monkeypod OG member, right? You can see that this is happening in an automated fashion. Boom shakalaka, another awesome follower. Welcome to this person. But it drives engagement. I'm amazed at how many people reply to this, or how many people retweet it, or give it a like, or ask a question. Some of it prompts them, hey, what do you need from me, or how can I help you, that sort of thing.
So is it driving people to your? Are you converting people into?
This is just to show some love. There's no ulterior motive. There's no real strategy behind it. It's building rapport.
The strategy is you're giving great customer experience.
Yeah.
Sure. There's a strategy behind it. I'm giving great customer experience, is the way I would put it. Wink. It's mostly because I'm exploring, and this is the last 3 months I've kind of uncovered Zapier can do what, and once I realized it integrates with Google Sheets, I thought, okay, well, I can create this list, and I'm going to continue to flesh that out. Eventually, I want there to be 100 different welcomes so that nobody knows which one it has picked or hasn't. Yes?
It actually also works with a company called Bright Signature.
Mm.
If you're doing any kind of contracts, you can signal that, signed.
Yeah.
And then it can push that back. So if you're in any kind of sales.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Right Signature?
Right Signature.
R-I-G-H-T or W?
$14 a month, right?
R-I-G-H-T. It's $14 a month if you are just a single user. If you're business, I believe it's we pay about $80 a month.
How's it in comparison to DocuSign?
I really like it because, they're very, very similar. I feel what I liked about it is that I have a software development company as well as a sales company, and I can private label a portion so that it just looks like, so we private label software for banks.
Sure.
So I don't want them to see me, I want them to see my software, so I can send it out through my software and they never know that the competitor exists.
I like that.
And that's all for, you have 3 admin accounts for the $80. So you could probably do 2.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Are all these free integrations with Zap?
So Infusionsoft is not. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can. I'll show you in just a second. These are the other Zaps I have set up for social. So if I publish a new blog post, it tweets about it. It creates a company update on my LinkedIn company page. It delays and tweets, and then it delays and it retweets it. 6 weeks later, your zaps can go up to 8 weeks in terms of delays. So I'm using my zap to intelligently continue to distribute that content over time so that there's a little bit more exposure to it. Same thing for my YouTube videos, couple of retweets there. My Instagram photos that I upload automatically get retweeted. A lot of that stuff you can do with other platforms. I got a man crush on Zapier in a big way. Okay, so yeah, I don't know which ones of these. These are all the tools that I have integrated. Survey Gizmo, Evernote, PeerChat, Google Calendar, LinkedIn, but I don't.
Right on their front page.
Yeah, it does on the Explore tab. Like these are paid. You can see some of them. Infusionsoft is premium. The ones that have premium, Instagram is premium. So some of them require the paid integration, but to be honest, like I think the lowest paid version is $20 a month, and the amount of time it can save you, obviously, it should pay for itself pretty quickly. Kat.
And we pay the next level up. And do you remember when you taught me the Zap for web merge to create automated certificates when people complete a course with us?
I don't, but that sounds like something I would do. Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, Greg, I've got to figure out,
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, somebody referred me to was trying to, whatever.
You had a developer who was working on it, yeah.
We should not have humans doing
Yes.
this, and so somebody finishes the course. When they do that, they fill out a Google form upon submission, depending on the variables in the Google form. Then it sends it to, I don't know how it works. My project manager set it up, but it's like web merge and Zap, and then bam, they get a PDF in their email.
It's magic.
So anyway, it's so magic, and it saves us so much money. So yes.
Testimonial.
Yeah.
Put it on. And Zapier doesn't have a partner program. I'm like hounding them. I will sell the ish out of that for you, but they don't have a partner program. It's just a great tool. I get nothing from it. You should use it. Yeah. So those are my 6 tools. Blah, 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 blah. End of presentation. Here's some more tools. Okay. So you should have the Infusionsoft mobile app. There was a point in time a couple years ago where the Infusionsoft mobile app was, I don't know, it just wasn't, there wasn't much it could do. It was like, all right, I can look up my contacts and I can map them. It continually gets better, okay? So now you can access opportunities from your mobile app. So if you manage opportunities or if you use the pipeline, your reps in the field can update them right from there. It also has merged with the Snap app. Okay, so Infusionsoft had an app that was called Snap that was specifically for taking pictures of business cards, and then it would be transcribed. That is now a native part of the mobile app. I was at Icon last week. I came home with 17 different business cards. It took me all of 8 minutes to snap and organize and add the right tags, and it was done. Those people all got automated follow-up from me right from my phone. I also use SyncSumo. There's another tool that's really, really similar called Sync2CRM. And what those allow you to do is sync your Infusionsoft database with your Facebook custom audiences. So if I want to run an ad specifically to my blog subscribers, well, I don't have to worry about exporting and importing a custom audience. It happens in real time, and it updates as new blog subscribers sign up. That list and audience grows. Or if you want to create a custom lookalike audience for your customers, it can integrate with your customers, and you might not want to promote to them specifically, but you could use that to create a second audience. So a lot of value in those 2 tools. They also work with lead ads, which is the newer and more streamlined Facebook advertising option. I don't know. Are there any other options that do other than SyncSumo and Sync2CRM? Are there any? Actually, PlusThis. Yeah, PlusThis integrates with lead. Yeah, you're right. How is it different? Here's my experience. SyncSumo, it syncs regularly. Every 15, you set the interval. Whereas PlusThis operates on a HTTP post, so you have to send that information if you want to add them or remove them from an audience. So the SyncSumo option to me is dynamic. It continues to update. Whereas the PlusThis option, and I don't know about the MyFusion Helper one, you have to trigger when you want them added or removed. That's all. You just a little bit more manual setup for either of those. Go Spiffy. Any Spiffy fans? Go Spiffy is a Infusionsoft order form wrapper. WRAPPER. So it takes your Infusionsoft order forms and it gives you a little embed code and it wraps it into a nice and beautiful mobile responsive form that is just a little bit cleaner. The Infusionsoft order forms are fine. I use them out of the box, but for people who need more than it gives you out of the box, you can use Go Spiffy. At one point, Infusionsoft order forms weren't mobile responsive, and so this was like a no-brainer if you needed mobile responsive, which everyone does. But now that they are, this is just a nice add-on if you're frustrated with the look and feel of your order forms. This one gives you a little bit more. Royalty-free images. Here are the sites that I use for free, high-quality photos. And I'm sure there are others, so I'd love your suggestions as well. But Pixabay, I'll give you these guys. I'll give you this. You could write them down, sure, but I'll give you the slides if that saves you some time. I should have said that much earlier. Yeah. I mean,
At the end of the presentation.
yeah, I know. My bad.
This is vectors.
Vector files. Okay.
Yeah, vectorstock.com
Okay.
has
For vector files specifically. Cool. Vectorstock.com. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay, no.
Pixabay, Pexels, Unsplash.com, and StockSnap.io. They're all really similar, but I go through all four of those and check my options before I choose one. And then royalty-free music. SoundCloud.com. You could go to SoundCloud.com and search, but there's a tags section where they have their music classified, and there is a section for royalty-free music if you need something like that for the background of your videos or testimonials. There's another one, bensound.com, which it's fine. Their little caveat is give us credit. Like put in the corner of your video music by Ben Sound or something like that. So some of my videos I've done that because I like some of the songs there, but this one is just royalty-free music. Any other royalty-free music sites or image sites that you guys are familiar with?
There's Audio Jungle, but it's
Okay.
paid and it's like $13.
It's a membership though, right? Or is it by track?
It's by track,
Okay.
but it's not free though.
Okay. Audio Jungle paid.
iStock Photo will give you a free
Oh,
sound,
yeah.
video, and image every week, but their caveat is it's free for non-business.
Oh,
If
personal.
you're a
Yeah.
blogger,
Yeah.
then you can do it, but I can't use it
Yeah.
as a corporate.
Got it.
But those are awesome, and some of the videos, they've got really fun ones they blow your mind.
Cool.
If you like free fonts, there's fontbundle.net. They send you a free font every week. So I'm the only reason why I'm on their email list is because once a month you get a really good font. You're like, that's free.
Sorry guys, this presentation may never end. I keep realizing things that should have been in here. Here's a website, sharelinkgenerator.com. This is really important. This allows you to pre-craft the social links that you want people to share. So if I want you to tweet, Greg's beard and presentation today were on point, right? Create the link. It gives you the link that you need, URL only, or the HTML embed code for that. So you can put it on your website, or you can put it in an email. And when I click on that link, here's the page that it loads. It's a preloaded tweet. You can do links in there. You can do images in there. You can tell people, hey, share this blog post on Facebook and give them the link that automatically shares it, right? If you want to encourage social sharing of any of your content, this website is genius.
This is
So
great
it's like
for,
click to tweet, except
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Click.
options.
She mentioned click to tweet, which is really similar, but I think it's Twitter specific.
It is.
Yeah, click to tweet. There you
if
go.
you're running a summit or joint ventures, you could just create them all here and then.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it's great. I use this pretty regularly in my emails when I'm saying, hey, tweet that or tweet this or share that or whatever. One thing is it only allows you to set up the image or the URL. For Facebook, it doesn't allow you to pre-craft the post. That's a Facebook API guideline, so you can't structure the language for them. But with Twitter, you can. Same thing for Google+. For both of the people who still use Google+, that's how you would do that. Shared link generator is super helpful. And yeah, obviously, I've got a folder here of tools, and then over here on its own is share link generator because I use it that regularly. It's got its own little button, so I don't have to double click to it. There was another one.
Do you ever use SMS?
I don't. That's a personal preference thing. So Plus This allows you to do SMS messaging, and I have Plus This, or My Fusion Helper can do it as well. I don't do any SMS marketing because I'm annoyed by it. I get that that's where things are going, but as a consumer, I don't love the text this 5-digit number and you get a notification. It's like, yeah, I think that's okay. Personally, I think the experience has some ironing out to happen. That's a Greg Jacobs personal preference. There are way more successful marketers who are embracing it full on, and that's probably where things will go. I'm gonna be a laggard on that one. I'll get there eventually. Yes.
I'm going to do a shameless plug. If you ever want to send a text and receive a payment,
Okay.
or send someone money with a text,
Yeah.
talk to me. We have that service for ACH
Cool.
processing and credit card processing.
Cool.
That's fun.
Right on. Okay. Here are 3 websites that have lists of tools. Monkeypodmarketing.com/useful tools. That's my own, so that's kind of like my toolbox. Several of the ones we mentioned, Camtasia is another one that's on there. There's some tools that I recommend. I use an accounting company from Illinois who's an Infusionsoft user, but they work with Xero. That's my accounting company. I recommend them. And then a couple websites. A lot of people have this. It's like the things that they use. And I just love reading through what is it that Blick Digital uses. That's business-toolbox. Systemly is a friend of mine, Greg Hickman from Colorado, and if you just go to system.ly/resources, that's his. Daniel, do you have a tools page, or you want to give it a plug?
No, this is all about you right now.
Okay. So those are 3 places you can go for those types of things. There's a couple others that I'll. It's Entreholics, like entrepreneur, ENTRE, holic, like alcoholic or any other holic. They've got a monthly newsletter where they talk about tools and they recommend tools. That one's great. Yeah, down here, I think receive a free guide somewhere. They've got their tools. And then there's another one, I forget. It's Tool Candy, I think. Tool Candy, weekly news. Well, WorkHacks is the website. So workhacks.com/sign up. And they have a weekly, this is, I think her name is Julie. Maybe Amanda. Maybe I'm just guessing. I don't know. So yeah, send me tools. And once a week she shows up with, if this is your jam, if you like this presentation and like this type of stuff, like I just eat it up. And I don't use all of them, but it's cool to know what's there. And as people mention them, you have like a point of reference for what it does or doesn't do. So that's another good newsletter to sign up for is workhacks.com, and their newsletter is called Tool Candy. Okay. That's it. If you have questions about this stuff or about anything Infusionsoft related, this is how you find me, Greg at monkeypodmarketing.com, at InfusionGreg, or at these, thanks. Obviously, this is my jam and I love doing this stuff, so thanks for listening and playing along.